702.
The Big Interview
With Bongani Bingwa.
Submit the paperwork or face the bulldozers. The city of Tshwane has issued a stark ultimatum to Kleinfontein. This is an informal settlement that has declared itself a tight-knit community of Afrikaner residents east of Pretoria. The city is arguing that Kleinfontein's 2013 application to be recognized is outdated and no longer valid under current bylaws, and the Metro now wants courts to force the community to lodge a fresh application or face being bulldozed. But Kleinfontein is crying foul, insisting they're being unfairly targeted for removal. They're saying it's, in a sense, a reverse forced removal. You may remember those from the apartheid years. Aaron Maluleka is the City of Tshwane's Human Settlements MMC and joins us now to explain all of this. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning and thank you for having me, Bongani.
All right, firstly, I suppose, please help us understand. I've got a particular picture of what I think Kleinfontein is. Am I right? Is it an informal settlement that has declared itself an Afrikaans-only area? Have I got that right?
It has the latter, but I think the focus now is that Kleinfontein, in terms of planning, it's an illegal township. Therefore, from outside, it has features of a developed area with very nice, expensive houses, a small industrial area, a community hall, a school, and a few shops that are trading through the community or the 652 dwellings that are found in that area. To then deal with the latter question of whether it's a racial enclave, I think it's the people of Kleinfontein and the leadership that through media engagement, they wanted to preserve their culture and have a white-only community. And it's what comes from them. But for us, our interest has always been focused on them complying in terms of our land use management.
Aaron, I'll come back to the compliance issues. I just want to make sure that I've got my facts right before we get there. So it is incorrect to think of it as an informal settlement with informal structures, for example. That's an incorrect picture of it.
We have classified areas like Kleinfontein as illegal townships because they have sold properties, they've built houses without applications.
Okay.
Aaron,
it's a very simple question I'm asking you. We'll get to the legalities and the procedural issues. I've described the settlement as an informal settlement in the way that one might think of others around the country. I'm trying to make sure that that description of it is accurate. If it isn't, please correct me now. We'll get to the legalities and the technicalities. Just give me a moment.
You are correct. It's an informal settlement.
Is that informality because these homes were not approved by the city? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
But not that it's a settlement of, say, structures made of corrugated iron, for instance?
Yes. They have built expensive structures.
So they're more formal structures?
They are more formal structures, yes.
All right. That's what I was trying to get to. Now, let's get to the other question. I think you're a leader of the city. You're the Human Settlements MMC. I think you should be able to answer to me whether this is a racially exclusive enclave or not.
Yes, I should. I'm saying that we have heard from them that they want to preserve their culture. And from a simple explanation is that they want to preserve it for whites only. As a community.
Right. So as things stand now, if you are not white or Afrikaans, as far as they are concerned, you can't live there.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's get to the legalities and the technicalities. Firstly, how has the city allowed what you are calling an illegal settlement to mushroom with formal structures, the school you described, the community hall you described, and these expensive houses without the appropriate or requisite approvals?
Then Kleinfontein is an agricultural land that is not zoned for any other use. Illegally, they have built these structures, these dwellings that I was referring to earlier on, And in 2013, they tried to bring their own papers through the defunct act, which is called the Development Facilitation Act, which is now repealed and replaced with SPLUMA. But now we have, on many occasions, reminded them that they are not compliant. And one of their groups, because these are two groups that were fighting within Kleinfontein, that took each other to court. And court found against one group that their development is illegal and city needs to take action against their illegality. And we are doing what comes out of the court order, that we must force them to submit their papers of land use, and they must also rezone their land in terms of township establishment if they want to go that route. And in the recent past, I think you are aware that we have dealt with our valuation role, and Kleinfontein had to be also issued with new bills because it was illegal for them to then want to build these dwellings, collect rates and taxes from those people illegally, place them in a trust account without paying council. And that's where we are, that they must comply. If they don't comply, in part of our prayers is that we are willing to help them to submit and comply. If they're not willing, the last resort is for them to demolish those structures.
All right. So you want them to basically, because you mentioned the Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Act, you're saying essentially if they fulfill all the requirements of that legislation, this settlement will stand, will continue, perhaps in a different way, but it will remain if they comply.
Of course, they will if they follow all our SPLUMA and our land use management bylaw, which was promulgated in 2016.
All right, they're saying increasing their monthly fees from an estimated 50,000 rand to 2 million rand is specifically targeting them, and they're saying those kind of rates threaten the settlement's survival.
It's incorrect, Bongani, because for many years they've been collecting monies from these dwellings, and city needs to recoup what is due to them. We need to get these monies to roll out social infrastructure, and we can treat them differently from any other community that has established itself,
Aaron,
and that's why we're issuing them with those bills.
Would it be fair to say that you are retrospectively now trying to fit a square peg into a round hole?
Not necessarily. Remember, there's a building a regulation that if you are not following the building control and the planning regulations, we can penalize you. We can issue fines. We can issue penalties. It's there in law. It's not something.
I completely understand that, but I mean,
it's designed for Kleinfontein.
Sure, I understand that completely, and I accept it. But for example, the origins of Kleinfontein becoming what it has, from agricultural use exclusively to now this informal settlement in the legal sense, when did that begin?
They tried in 2013 to bring their application. I'm saying for
no,
the last
that's not what I'm
8 years,
asking you. I'm saying to you, when did Kleinfontein become the settlement that we would know today? It's at least been around since 2013, but even earlier than that, wouldn't you agree?
No, I do agree. It was an agricultural land, Bongani.
I understand.
But the mass development when it takes place, therefore it draws attention. So it draws attention of the city, and the city acts on those bases.
Yes, but the point I'm making, Aaron, is that it hasn't mushroomed overnight. Precisely because, as you corrected me earlier, we're not talking about informal structures here. This is a development that has occurred over time. It's an enclave that the residents insist must be Afrikaner only, and the city is only acting now years since it became the way that it is.
In the last 8 years, for example, the leaders of Kleinfontein, one was MMC of community safety, one was chair of finance. In the last 8 years, they overlooked this matter. When we came into office, we reminded them that there's monies that are due to the city, and we are following in terms of what the laws of local government are saying. We could, I agree with you that in 2014, 2015, we could have pursued them but there was no mass development that is currently in place in Kleinfontein.
Is it a stain on the city's record? I understand there have been several administrations led by different political actors, but is it a stain on the city's record that this kind of thing was allowed in the first place?
Yes, it's a stain, but you'd understand that the current leadership established a sub-mayoral committee to focus on illegal townships. Because it's not only Kleinfontein that we have. We've got one in Garangua, we've got one in next to Mamelodi. If you're going to Kalinen, we have one, almost two in Hammanskraal. We have the other one in Centurion. And for all these 17 illegal townships, we want to assist them to be, to follow right regulations and to be township established in a proper manner in line with SPLUMA and our bylaw. That if all of them would then come to the party, we'll be able to assist them because we're losing money there. We're losing revenue because many of them... I
think for many people listening to us, Aaron, one of the thorny issues certainly is going to be the idea whether you can get these structures formalized or not, whether you can get this area rezoned or not. Certainly, I think for anybody listening to our conversation, the thorny issue that's going to stand out is the idea of a racial enclave reserved only for white Afrikaners, even if you get the money in your coffers that you say is owed to you. City of Tshwane Human Settlements MMC Aaron Maluleka on the line there. What do you think the city should do? This thing has been allowed to grow and grow and grow, so it's not at all the informal settlement that I was made to understand it is. They've got formal structures, they've got schools, they've got formal buildings, and they've even got a boom gate. That explains it, hey? The boom gate. But it's there. And fine, let's say they do register according to SPLUMA. This is the Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Act. The city gets its money. But does it stay a racial enclave? How's that okay?
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.